really not a fan of plastics. I don't use straws. I don't do any of that personally. At home, we don't. We do a lot of recycles and stuff. My first pet was turtle, so personally that always affects to me. I mean, I really would also eventually want everyone to not use plastics. It really bothers me too. That's why when I go somewhere else and stuff and they hand me a straw, I tell them, no, keep it please, because I work at a restaurant, so when we leave the straw, we don't put it back, and because they've already touched it and stuff, and with COVID going on nowadays, we really can't put it back and reuse it. So every time I'm at a restaurant, they give it to me, I always tell them, I'm sorry, before I touch it, can you actually take it back? I don't need the straw. So yeah, hopefully eventually we'll get to that lifestyle. Yeah.
How do I feel about it? Yeah, I don't like it. It's not environmentally correct. Even though we try to use the compostable plastic, I'm not sure that's 100% compostable. We work a lot on the garbage story where we have compostables. All the food is taken care of in a special green bin, where it's, instead of going to the garbage to the dump, it goes to compostable, biodegradable food products. We try to carry as much as we can with compostable plastic when it's available, and it is available most of the time.
Audio Jungle.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, cost is a little more, obviously, for sustainable materials. Yeah, so we don't have any recyclable containers for anything. The people in general, the public takes them out, disposes them into the different waste disposal units, I guess you could say. So I am presuming that from our beginning to their ending is some type of landfill.
Audio Jungle.
I said as of right now, we're not, it's not something that's being required by either our corporate offices or even, like I said, the general public hasn't brought up any issues regarding, our recycling system. To be honest with you, I think there's very few people that are really concerned about recycling. I do. Yeah, we recycle at my house. We have our 3 bins. We have compost, garbage, and recycling bins. So yeah.
I really have not seen a lot of it. I have not seen it, so I'm very happy that it's not I don't see it.
The problem is, they shouldn't be doing it on other people's property. So maybe we need to have a place where graffiti artists can actually practice their art and get celebrated. Or if you can actually get in touch with these people, actually give them a platform.
I started drawing on school desks and toilet stalls, and I started getting into cartooning, like doing cartoons on the walls, and then it went to spray paint. We are hoping for more designated areas in our cities to paint, but zero tolerance doesn't make any sense. That's a very classist view. Just 30 minutes from the city, you'll see big pieces of graffiti art, like things that make what would be a dilapidated and dirty building look beautiful.
I think graffiti is a very cool art form. I love the big scale stuff I've seen in some places.
There's a lot of good things that they should know about right now that they're not paying attention to right now. Well, you know what they should do? They should put out little areas where they have a big area where people can put the graffiti they want to put.
Just go crazy somewhere, like a parking lot, or
Give them a wall.
just give them a big
give them
wall
some place
somewhere.
to
There's
do it.
plenty of blank walls.
So my main job is to implement our climate action plan. Waste, carbon sequestration, energy, water. Zero waste is one piece of it.
Audio Jungle.
We try to do what we can to help encourage or put in laws or policies in place that guide people's behavior. But in the end, we have almost 60,000 residents, lots of businesses, and lots of visitors to San Rafael too. So it's really hard to have much control over what people do. So we try to do things that encourage the best behavior, as well as pass laws like SB 1383. However, we have to rely on our community partners. So Marin Sanitary Service is our biggest community partner. They do all the waste hauling, all the compost. They were one of the first companies in California to have curbside composting. So they're really, and they do most of the outreach, and they do it really well. What we're seeing in composting is that a lot of people are putting those bioplastics in, which don't get composted here. If you have plastic in there and other stuff that's not compostable, all that other good stuff may end up going to landfill because it's too contaminated to actually compost. The county passed recently a single-use plastic ordinance that disallows any plastic takeout containers moving forward. We didn't do that because the compostable alternatives or at the time when it was passed were anywhere from 30% or higher more costly than the plastic. And the difference between the county and San Rafael is that we have a lot more businesses in San Rafael, a lot more restaurants, a lot more mom and pop, really small, immigrant-owned ones that are really struggling coming out of the pandemic. Really hard to get staff. Things are really expensive. The supply chains are all messed up, and they're struggling to stay. And at this point, our council felt like we need to help them get out of the pandemic and get on solid footing again before we put another requirement on them that's going to cost them more money. The plastics industry in general would like to have everything be recyclable. The reality is if it doesn't pencil out, if it doesn't make you money or not cost you money, things are not going to get recycled. You don't get a plastic bottle that's recycled into a plastic bottle that's recycled into a plastic bottle. That's not what happens. A plastic bottle might become a deck. When you saw that plastic, all that plastic shaving is going into the ground. When it's done, where does it go? It doesn't get recycled, it goes to landfill. If you can, avoid plastic as much as possible. If it wasn't for the collaboration and all of us working together, we would not be as far along. We have so many amazing people that help out. We have MC Clean Energy here, a 27% greenhouse gas reduction since 2005, which is pretty significant, pretty great, but that wouldn't happen with just government alone.